Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's 1 million by 1 million strategy roundtable for entrepreneurs. 1M, as you know, is the first and only global virtual accelerator in the world. Our mission is to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million and beyond in annual revenue. We work in the tech and tech-enabled services sector. This is the 546th mentoring roundtable. We've been doing this for a very long time. As you can imagine, 546 sessions is a lot of sessions. So we started back in 2008, in the fall of 2008, when my first book was coming out, and Maureen and I met that summer, and we experimented, and that experiment was successful. So 2 years later, a little bit over 2 years later, we launched the 1 million by 1 million program in 2010. So even that has been now over a decade going, and we do a lot of roundtables, both public roundtables, but also a lot of private roundtables, which is how we deliver the program, the 1M1M premium program, all the mentoring, weekly mentoring for the program. This event is being recorded. Every single recording is on the 1M1M Roundtables channel. On Twitter, we are at 1M1M and at Stromana, hashtag 1M1M for today. Before we begin the entrepreneur pitch session, let me remind you, we have the DataStax 1M1M Startup Challenge that has launched last week, and Maureen can share the link with you. For developers, entrepreneurs who are developing using Cassandra, DataStax Enterprise, or AstraDB. These are DataStax products. Cassandra is an open source database, NoSQL database. You are very welcome to apply to the 1M1M DataStax program. The winners will be rewarded with $10,000, a year of all exclusive license to enter the DataStax AstraDB, to the entire DataStax AstraDB, and a 1-year scholarship to the 1M1M premium program. So it's a, comprehensive amount of help that you're going to get, and DataStax has very good channels into the enterprise. So if you're building a, high availability, high velocity, NoSQL database application that has a lot of real-time data consequences, whether it's an IoT application or any kind of data-driven application, big data application, machine learning application, this is a very, very good opportunity. And by the way, if you're already developed a product on a DataStax or AstraDB or a DataStax Enterprise or Cassandra, and you have customers and you're looking for funding, this is a very, very good opportunity. 1 million by 1 million has an extensive network of, over 600 investors whom we work with, and we have a lot of enterprise investors. There's a lot of people who love data-driven businesses, so we hope to get you funded. And this could be from anywhere. You could be in Iceland, you could be in South Africa, you could be in Australia, it doesn't matter. Of course, you could be in India. We have a big adoption of the program in India. So you're very welcome to apply. Application deadlines, well, we want you to complete your application by Thursday, October 28th, and then winners would be announced on Thursday, November 11th. So that's the plan. So these are the call-in instructions for today's session. It is a roundtable, not a broadcast. So we want you to participate as much as possible, as much as you would like to. Also, the public chat tends to be a very good way to participate as well. We have 2 entrepreneur pitches today. One from Tanzania, did you say? Taha is in Tanzania? And the other one is from, Nitin, you are in?
New Delhi.
Delhi, okay, New Delhi. So true to the global nature of these events, just a little bit of expectation setting. We want you to succeed. We are completely on your side. This is a safe working session. My job is to help you figure out what you can do to accelerate your journey. So I'm not going to sugarcoat what I tell you. I'm going to give you honest feedback, but with absolutely no malice. My whole intent is to help you plug your gaps and figure out how you're going to put one foot before the other and move forward in an accelerated pace. If you disagree with my feedback, that's fine too. It's your venture. Ultimately, the prerogative to do whatever it is that you want to do with your venture is yours. You can take my feedback, ignore my feedback, that prerogative is yours. So we are going to start with Taha, Salaam, Tanzania. The company is Beem, delivering memorable mobile experiences. All right, Taha, let's hear what you're doing.
Thanks, Ramana. Glad to be here and talking to you and presenting today. So yeah, I think you share my name and where I am. So Beem is a cloud communications provider or cPaaS company, Africa-focused cPaaS company. So just to give some context of where Africa is, maybe a lot of people don't know where it stands in terms of tech and kind of macro trends, but basically you can say it's where a lot of the larger emerging markets, let's say India, maybe South America, were 5 to 10 years ago. So it's grown exponentially in terms of maybe smartphone penetration, but in terms of mobile penetration, sorry. But smartphone penetration is also growing very rapidly, and it's at about 30% currently. But basically, consumers are moving online and via the mobile. Next slide, please. So as they move, obviously businesses and SMEs are having to move with them, and they need the right tools, the digital tools to really catapult that growth. And we're really focused on enabling SMEs with the right building blocks and tools for them to interact and transact with their customers across Africa in one place. And so we bundle all the kind of fundamental units of communication or payments, which are airtime, SMS, USSD, mobile payments, and chat into one product. Next slide. So we have, a self-service platform, which is called Beem Engage, and that helps smaller SMEs as well as larger enterprise to use our platform and our communication channels on a self-service basis on the web and on the mobile. And it's an omni-channel platform with CRM functionality and a lot of cool features. And this product is obviously always evolving, but we're working to move it towards more data-driven marketing solution. And we've actually kind of done a collaboration this year with a company called Superfluid Labs, which is a data science company, to really enable some of our customers to do segmentation and then data-driven marketing from that. And then the other aspect is obviously, as a cPaaS company, we're really strong on our APIs, and we have a really strong suite of APIs, unified APIs that help developers integrate with our platform and use our communication and payment services across multiple countries and across different stacks.
Taha, what is your background?
Computer engineering and business.
Okay, and you've lived in Tanzania all along, or?
Yeah, I grew up here. I'm Tanzanian by nationality. I did high school 2 years in India, in Bangalore, and then moved to the States. So I did college in the US, worked in the US for a couple of years, and then moved back.
Okay, all right.
So this is kind of where we've reached so far in terms of our growth and progress. We've been profitable and are kind of fully bootstrapped and kind of have been reinvesting. So far. We've processed about 1 billion transactions till date and are really proud of our coverage across the continent, both in terms of countries as well as mobile operators. And we're continuously looking to expand and grow that coverage.
Do you have a slide where you will be covering your business model?
Yes.
So the 4,300 enterprise and SME users are all paying customers?
No, that's the full set. Month on month, we could have maybe between 15 to 20% which are active.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have customers from globally, from I think about 30 countries at the moment, and across different verticals. So a lot of financial, FinTech, a lot of technology companies that kind of integrate with our platform. A lot of larger cPaaS providers, so like Twilio, MessageBird, Tata, etc., use us as the last mile. So we deliver the communications for them with all the different networks across the continent.
Hmm.
Then a lot of other service and FMCG businesses as well.
And these are the customers who are actually generating your revenue?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we can go to the next slide. So, yeah, I think at the moment our business model is basically purely transactional, but we want to move it incrementally to a subscription model or a combination of pay-as-you-go with subscription. As we add kind of the newer value proposition along with the data-driven marketing and kind of higher levels of support and customization, we want to package that in as premium services. But at the moment, most of our business model is purely transactional.
And how much revenue are you making at the moment?
So we did about 1.8M last year.
1.8 million.
Yeah.
Dollars.
Yes.
Okay, with 20% margin.
Yes.
On the gross margin.
Gross margin.
And what kind of burn rates are you supporting right now? Your team is entirely in Tanzania?
No, it's spread out. So we have folks across a couple of different countries.
All in Africa, though?
Yes and no. We have a couple of freelancers outside Africa as well.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Just to correct myself, the margin is slightly higher, the gross margin. Net margin is about 10 to 12%. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
And so these are kind of our go-to-market channels. We do direct sales, some portion of it, direct sales. We get a lot of word of mouth and online kind of leads that come to us directly. We also do kind of paid advertising online. We have a pretty good reseller and affiliate program, so that's how we've managed to grow to multiple markets as well. So we're really proud of that, and we're kind of it's the strength that we've kind of developed very unique models that are very Africa specific for us to be able to scale organically and without external funding. And then the last one is something new that we're looking to try is basically white label our entire platform for MNOs to be able to offer that to their end customers.
Okay.
This is our team. So I have a background in electrical computer engineering, and then I did tech consulting at Capgemini. Adnan, who is not yet full-time on our team, but we're looking to raise so that he can come on board full-time. But he studied at MIT and has a product management background at a number of large enterprises in the US.
Is he your brother?
He's a cousin, yes. He's my cousin.
He's a cousin, okay.
And Alifia has been with us for quite a few years, so she's kind of grown with our team and kind of has progressed to head of operations. But she used to do a lot of community engagement and worked with Google and Mozilla in Kenya before she joined us. And Rema has a very strong engineering background. It has a master's from Mellon University in Rwanda, and has done a lot of projects, both government and private sector.
Okay, very good.
Next slide. And in terms of kind of market size and the opportunity, the cPaaS space in itself is very big. Obviously, there's a lot of big players in the market like Twilio, etc. And so we estimating about 25 billion is the global market. Africa specific is about 10% of that, and we're looking to catch about 100 million of that.
In what time frame?
Over the next 7 to 10 years.
Okay.
And our target is to hit about 30,000 paying SMEs across in that time frame. But in parallel, there's also because we're moving more towards data-driven communication and automation, there's a parallel segment there that was also an opportunity and has a similar or has a fairly large market size as well that we can capture some of that in the process.
So does this TAM, is it a top-down TAM that where you're just calculating percentage of the yes. Top-down numbers, or did you do a bottom-up analysis?
Oh, we haven't. It's very hard to get data, unfortunately, in
No, but bottom-up analysis doesn't require data. If you have 30,000 SMEs that you're targeting to penetrate, what are the assumptions on how much revenue are you going to make on transaction of the 30,000, and how much are you going to make of subscription of the 30,000? How much are you get of the automation and customer data platform? What is the business model of that? That's how you do TAM analysis.
So we've done an initial modeling in that sense, yes, but it can't remember the numbers at the top of my head if they match up directly with this, but
that
yes,
is what investors look for. If you're trying to raise money, that is really what investors look for.
Okay,
not this.
That's good feedback. That's good feedback.
You can present this, but really what they're interested in is the bottom up. So what is it going to take to achieve penetration into 30,000 SMEs, and what kind of TAM are we looking at to get into 30,000 SMEs? And actually, by the way, for TAM, what you are showing here is your revenue projection, your potential 7-year revenue projection. That's not TAM. TAM is what you're presenting here as the Africa SAM. When you do if 30,000 is 1% of the SMEs, your TAM is actually 100% of the SMEs done with a bottom-up TAM analysis. That's how you get the TAM. And then you can say that, okay, this is how we're going to get from 0 to 100 million in 7 years. That's the revenue projection. That's not TAM. So there's some presentation, there's some pitch details that you need to tweak still.
Okay. So I'm done with the slides. Basically, I have some questions, or if you had some more comments, we can before we go into the questions.
Let's do your questions, and then we'll see what else we need to cover. You're looking to raise your first funding round of 4.5 million. You don't have a valuation set. Should you do an equity round or start with a SAFE? Should we start with a smaller round? It depends. Have you started talking to investors? Have you talked to anybody yet?
We've talked to about 3 or 4 at the moment, yes, but all Africa based.
And what is the feedback you're getting from them?
So they were at different, I'm still waiting on feedback from a couple, but one of them, it was a timing issue. I think they're closing their current fund and they're moving into the next one,
So $4.5 million is an equity round mostly. That is not something you do as a SAFE usually.
Sure, we would have to do a smaller round as a SAFE perhaps.
4.5 million usually would be a full, reasonable size Series A round. So from the fact that you already have, million plus in revenue, you should be able to raise that Series A is my guess. And you don't have to set the valuation. Valuation is set by investors. That's not your concern. And you have the metrics. Right now, you do have the metrics to raise a full Series A, I think. So you don't necessarily need to start with a smaller round. There are certain conditions under which you could consider raising a smaller round if you're trying to work with particular entities who want to come in and, at a smaller level, that's a different consideration. But technically, with the metrics that you have right now, a 4.5 million, 5 million Series A should be possible. If you need to raise money in the US, the likelihood that people would ask for a US company to fund is high. The thing that is different about you is that you're an Africa-facing company, right? Your market is Africa. So to the extent that you want a US company is with the long-term view of raising money in the US, as well as going public in the US or doing an exit transaction in the US. Let's say, you build this out and Twilio wants to buy you. It would be easier for Twilio to buy you if you are a US company. It's just transaction-wise, it's easier. So I think all of these are, I would just set up a US company and turn your African entity into a subsidiary. That's what people do.
And not any other jurisdiction, like Mauritius or BVI or something like
that. If your ultimate goal is to seek exit in the US, I would set it up as a US Delaware company.
Okay.
Okay. Part of the raise is to be able to hire more senior management. How do you present the current team to investors? Let's go back to your team slide. So you are the CEO. Adnan is going to join as the CTO. Alifia is head of operations. Imabu is head of engineering. That's a reasonable team to go for Series A. The question is, whom do you want to bring in? You should specify. There's a slide that you should have on use of funds. So the fund that you raise, how are you going to use, and what are the key hires in that? So nowhere in this is a VP of marketing or a chief marketing officer. You have a sales, function. You need a VP of marketing, you need a VP of sales because you're doing enterprise deals and carrier deals and so on and so forth. So all of that is going to require, and the marketing function is very important. To do what you're trying to do, the marketing function is incredibly important. So, so those are two hires that are going to come after the fundraise. Is there any other major function that you're going to need to bring in to do what you're doing?
No, those are the two.
Those are the two main ones. Yeah, so I think that's a very reasonable Series A.
Someone on the mobile, like a carrier relations with the mobile operators too.
Okay.
So for partnership.
Yeah. So you could have the three functions actually that you should be bringing with the Series A funding. Well, you're going to bring Adnan on full time, and then you're going to need to bring in VP of marketing, VP of sales, and VP of biz dev who will handle all the partnerships.
Right.
And then you have a full team basically. That's what I would present in the use of funds slide. And then you should also, you have a decent idea about your customer acquisition cost. So you should present like, this is how much we're going to spend on customer acquisition, and this is going to turn into this many customers and this much revenue, and that is our Series A milestone. That is a very precise, use of funds line item, which investors would love.
Okay.
So this is good, very good work so far. Very good presentation, I would say. There are a few things that you need to tweak, but you're very close to having a good, solid funding pitch. The main thing I would do is work out your TAM slide and do a bottom-up TAM analysis really clearly. And then the use of funds, where you show the team hire as well as the customer acquisition plan and milestone. And I think you would have a good pitch to go out with.
Okay.
Great. So
thank you.
You can ask more questions after I finish with Nitin. Very good work. Excellent work.
Thank you.
All right. So, Nitin, you are up next.
Yeah, hi, good evening. About my background, I am Nitin Khandelwal, and I'm at New Delhi, India, and I had worked with Standard Chartered Bank for almost 7 years. I started my career with Standard Chartered Bank, and I left bank in 2013, and I started this company. Name is New Delhi Financial. Until until last month, we were doing business completely in offline market. Now we have recently launched a platform which is 1MDF.com. It's a complete online platform to execute end-to-end loan applications. So currently the problem we are trying to address in 1NDF.com is there is a huge gap in lending industry in India. Say 60-70% loans are being booked through intermediaries or through loan agents. And these loan agents are not very well equipped or not very qualified people. So because of that, there are so many customer complaints. They don't execute on time. They don't deliver on time. There is a transparency issue. There is a timing issues, and because there are so many things. Because whenever a customer approach a bank for a loan, then it take at least 4 to 5 days for a bank to reply to a customer. Herein, what we have done, like we have developed a platform where already we have got 70 plus bankers. We have affiliated with almost 50 plus bankers as of now, and bankers. We have got 50 bankers from different verticals of the bank, wherein some are from mortgages, some are from personal loans, some are from business loans, some are from equipment finance, some are from mid corporate, large corporate. So now whenever a customer customer coming for a loan on our website, he can identify location, he can identify a person on the basis of his reviews, on the basis of his experience. He can directly schedule a video call with him, and he can just directly explore various options. He can speak to 1%, 2%, 3%. He can take different opinions with different people. And he can, if he want to speak a person sitting in South India, he can take an opinion from South India banker from South India. He can take an opinion from North India also. So it is. He doesn't need to explore. He doesn't need to visit the branch or bank. He doesn't need to do physical meeting with the branch. So any customer and they can share documents online. And we have generated. We have got one proprietary algo software with us that generates financial health report card within 45 minutes. On the basis of in financial health report card, we have all liquidity ratios, we have current ratios, we have all the liquidity ratios and debt equity ratios, leverage ratios. So in 45 minutes, customer can come to know what is the good and what is the bad about his balance sheet, and we can, and on the basis of that financial health report card, bank can also take a decision in minimum turnaround time. So they can decide in a day or in a 2 day or in a day also. They can decide whether they want to process this application or whether they do not want to process this application. They can immediately close the commercials and all other terms in an instant face-to-face meeting. And we do in India, we call a personal discussion. Bank senior credit manager visit customer's place, and customers go down and other business places to verify activities. So in our case, we have got application wherein customer can use his camera phone, and on the basis of credit manager can do personal discussion or can assess the business activity, and they can just visualize that what is the level of business activity at randomly at any point of time. It is not that when generally credit manager visits the branch, he just fixes up a time with the customer, and customer may get time to prepare. But in this case, instantly they can get the feeling that what is the current level of business activity level and other things. So turnaround time is going to get reduced drastically. So, and the productivity is going to increase drastically, because bank people productivity increase drastically. transparency which is going to come into the picture, because Indian market is like in rural areas, people are not aware what is the how and what product is suitable for them, whether they want to go for a business loan or whether they want to go for a construction loan. People are not aware about it, and so whenever they will talk to direct banker, they have access to people. They can directly get to know which product, what product, and what will be the timeline, what will be the deadline, and they can just close immediately. So this is how it is going to work.
Keep going.
Okay, so this is go-to market strategy, wherein we I have been on already into this market for the last 6 years, 6.5 years. So we have been doing this business in offline mode. Now when we have launched this platform, so we want to generate online leads. We want to reach. I have been doing this business only in New Delhi and NCR region. So now that it's an opportunity for me to expand my business throughout Pan India. So because I can go ahead and generate content, and I can go ahead and do digital marketing for it. So, and this is how, and we have a real estate tie-up all over India. We have a architect tie-up all over India. We have a consultant network. We can have consultant network all over India, and so and a franchisee model is also there, and subscription wherein we can educate, we can inform customer. Customer can ask. Customer can generate a financial health report card from us. Customer can ask. Customer can ask us. We have a system wherein we tell to the customer that this is the particular time you need funding in a particular time in a year. We have a system. We have generated a system wherein we can tell to the customer that in particular quarter you need funding. So you can raise that funding before that quarter starts. So we have made a system. So for all those services, we can charge a subscription fee from the customer, and it is like we are going to generate the business. We are going to generate the revenue. So it's a current platform statistics that it's a 20 days old platform, online platform. So we have got credit score download 45, and website visits are 7,460, and we have closed one successful transaction today, and one case is got already sanctioned, and the case is going to be disbursed today itself only. So and next please. So this is the business statistics which we have already closed. Number of leads which we were able to generate 7,500, and number of disbursement 1,000 in numbers, and 270 million USD approx we have disbursed as of now, and revenue which we were able to generate out of 270 million USD is 2.7 million USD.
So you take 1% as transaction fee, as how much as commission?
Yes, 1% transaction fees we are getting from the banks and financial institutions.
Okay. Now, if in your 7,500 leads, and in particular the number of disbursements, that 1,000 disbursements that you have completed, what types of customers have you been most successful with? I understand you're only doing New Delhi right now. So within New Delhi, what category of transaction has created the maximum revenue so far?
So SME segments which we were able to pull out the maximum loan amount, which we were able to disburse maximum loan amount in the SME segment, or it's like small medium enterprises.
Yes. Well, what kind of loans? Is it just working capital loans, term loans for financing equipment, or what?
It's a term loan. It's a combination of term loan and working capital finance.
How much working capital? How much term loan?
So term loan is around 60%, and 40% is working capital finance.
And what is the other 10%?
Other 10% is home loan and business loans and other loans.
So the reason I'm asking this question, Nitin, is this business model of creating a marketplace where lenders and borrowers meet and create successful transactions happen, make successful transactions happen. It it has been widely practiced in the Western world. We've had lots of successful businesses, very large businesses come out of this model. But the success has always been based on the fact that they have focused on a particular category, especially in the beginning. You focus on
I'm
SMB.
sorry, I lost you. Which category?
You focus on a particular category. So if it's SMB, then you build a business around SMB lending, and that has its own dynamic.
I'm not able to hear you.
Is anybody else not able to hear me? Other people can hear me, so the problem is on your end. Nitin?
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I lost you. I lost you for the last 2 minutes. I'm really, really sorry.
Can you hear me now?
I could not hear you. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, so it's probably your bandwidth is fluctuating. So what I was trying to tell you, Nitin, is that this is a business model. This is not a new idea. It has been done before, and in the US, it's happening extensively. FinTech is very big, and small business lending is very big. Consumer lending is very big. Peer-to-peer lending is very big. There are all kinds of, lending types of businesses, lending marketplaces. The one thing, though, you should keep in mind is that you should focus. This is why I was asking you the question of what is the concentration of your business. If it's SMB, then you should turn this whole business into an SMB business and not worry about home loans and all of this stuff. And that's what is going to scale. Because banks have different, as you know, the same people who are doing small business lending don't do home loans. And the customer acquisition is also different. So I think your business is going to scale a lot better if you focus on small business lending, since that's where all your expertise is and that's where bulk of your revenues are from. That is a validated business for you. The only thing is that business has happened offline, and now you need to validate that business as an online business that happens on your platform. But the fact that you have almost $3 million in revenue and your business model is working, all that is very good. So I would frame this business as an online business, as a FMB lending online business. And the thing that you need to look up, which I haven't seen in your slide deck, is a slide on competition, because there's a lot of FinTech funding that has happened in India. You need to find who else is doing this. There are SMB lending, lots of SMB lending FinTech companies out there that are, have been flushed with funding, they're doing well, et cetera, et cetera. So you need to understand who those companies are, what is the level of funding they've received, and so forth, and figure out, where can you go in, what are their strategies, what are their focus areas, et cetera, et cetera. So that would be my first reaction to your business. Obviously, the business is there. There is no question that SMB lending is a big business, and it lends itself very well to FinTech. So people are doing it. You are doing it still in a manual way, but the FinTech version of this is already happening. You need to understand what the lay of the land is, what is the competition, etc. But there is a business. You have validated your business, so there are lots of positives here. So you should definitely build on it and try to make it happen. Do you have any other questions?
Yeah. So I was what I was telling you that we are not lenders actually. We have started.
So I know you're not a lender. You want to be a FinTech company that sits in the middle of the lenders and the borrowers, and you want to make transactions. It's a marketplace. You want to do a two-sided marketplace.
It's a marketplace. It's a marketplace, and that has got the face-to-face interaction. That has got the in India there is no marketplace which has got the face-to-face interaction. It is why people are coming on this platform today, that they feel it's a face, one person who is a banker, he's a right person, he's a real person, and they can rely on him, they can talk to him, because intermediary or mediators commit miscommitment.
That's a good differentiator. How much of your revenue comes from online transactions so far?
So it's a first case we have been able to disburse today, because 20 days ago we only launched this platform. So once it got disbursed.
Right. So I think if you give it a few more months, you will have track record and revenues generating on the FinTech mode, and that's important for I take it you're trying to raise funding, yeah?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So you're going to need to build up the FinTech track record and the FinTech validation. The business is validated. You just need to figure out the FinTech portion of it, and you need to figure out the competition and so forth. But it's doable. All of this is doable. You're in a very good position, and if you decide that you want to work with 1Mby1M, we'll be happy to help you.
Great.
So
thank you.
Hold on for a bit. Let me finish working with Mohammed, and we can come back to more Q&A. There is, of course, I'm going to spend some time explaining to you how to use the program also. Okay. Mohammed, you're up next. Mohammed and Jian.
Okay, hello. I'm Mohammed. I'm originally from Gujarat, India, but I've been living here in Queens, New York for all my life. So this is Green Transport. It's originally still in its idea phase, so we're just still brainstorming. Next slide. We are Green Transport. Our company's mission is to provide a service where ordinary people like yourselves can get around the city without having to walk and adding on to your own carbon footprint. Trains create pollution, and so do normal, ordinary cars that run on gas. We want to create an app/website that normalizes using electric vehicles, electric bikes, scooters, and skateboards, which is cleaner and better for the environment. We plan to sell these vehicles from foreign small businesses who do not have an online platform to sell these vehicles on. They'd pay us to advertise their electric bikes, scooters, hoverboards, skateboards, all from our platform, and we would ship for them as well.
First and foremost, you should not ever put this much text on an opening slide, on any slide, but definitely not on an opening slide. This is your voiceover commentary. This is not how to pitch. You should put just a small amount of text, just bullet point text, but not this much text. This is
kind of our first pitch.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So our main target base are ordinary working class people, vegans, tourists, anybody really who wants to get around the city to get to their destination. Our service will be sold on an iPhone/online. We want to charge a shipping fee of $5 for consumers, and we will be operating only in New York City until we achieve enough revenue to expand. Our main objective is to aid small businesses that have been negatively impacted by this pandemic, helping them increase sales by selling for them through our website app, as many of these small businesses do not have websites to do so themselves. So initially, we're going to be...
Sorry, I'm confused. What has ordinary working class people, vegans, getting around the city got to do with small businesses? I mean,
So those are going to be the people that we're initially going to be targeting, regular people that want to help, help grow small businesses.
What is the value proposition of your app? Is it helping people find green transportation or helping small businesses?
Yeah, so initially we're going to be selling green transportation, like, electric vehicles, but people are initially going to be purchasing them from our website, and these vehicles are going to be sold from small businesses, like foreign small businesses here, like in New York City. They sell stuff like bikes, electric scooters and stuff, but they're really, really small stores, and they don't really have a website or anything.
So you want to bring small businesses selling green transportation and sell that to consumers. That's what you want to do.
Exactly, yes.
So it is a marketplace. You're also talking about doing a two-sided marketplace.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So then you should learn the basics of how to build a two-sided marketplace, very similar to what we were just talking about with Nitin in a different category, but you're trying to bring on sellers of green transportation and buyers of green transportation.
Yeah.
And that's really the business that you're trying to do. So the
We
same.
look,
Go ahead.
yeah, we look to expand, and like it's not just we're gonna like probably change the name as well. But like if this thing goes successfully, you know, selling these green transportation, we look to expand like to sell other stuff like from other small businesses here in New York City. So not just vehicles, but like, expand to other stuff in the future, of course, if this goes successfully.
I don't think it's going broad is how things work very well. I think staying within a vertical is how you actually build successful businesses.
Yeah.
When we become successful is a long-term question. You have to first become successful, and to first become successful, the tighter the positioning, the narrower the positioning, the more successful you're going to be. So right now, think about how to learn the basics of entrepreneurship, how to put one foot before the other to build just this, small business, green transport sellers to green transport buyers, and evaluate how big is that opportunity. You have to do a TAM analysis. Do you know what a TAM analysis is?
No.
No. Okay.
I'm still listening to your lectures right now for the internship.
Lectures, okay.
Yeah.
You're an intern, right?
Yes, I'm an intern.
In 1Mby1M. So you will have access to, through your internship, you will be able to do some of the lectures, but the stuff on TAM analysis and positioning and all of this stuff is not on Udemy yet. We've only successfully released about 28 courses on Udemy. So if you want to do that, then you're going to need to sign up for 1M Basic and do the 1M Basic lectures and learn all of that. So that's something I would recommend that you do. If you decide that you want to pursue this idea and build something with it, then get the basic knowledge of how to put one foot before the other.
Okay. Currently, we're thinking about creating a website for this, for the starting phase, before we do anything. And then we plan to go to these foreign shops like in person and talk with them about this idea and see how it goes.
First thing you should do is do a TAM analysis. How big is this opportunity? Can you build a sizable business out of this? Are there enough green transportation sellers? Are there enough green transportation buyers? Would people come to a website? There's a whole thing called validation. You should go do 1M Basic and listen to the validation module first and foremost. And you need to implement that validation before. There's no need to do a website right now. First thing you do is validation. For that, you don't need a website.
So we start off with the term validation?
You start with validation, yes. That's where you start any business. Any business anybody wants to do needs to start with validation.
Okay, I see. And then do I go on to bootstrap this business, I think?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. In the beginning, there's no choice but to bootstrap the business. So.
Yeah, I think it's the smartest methodology to continue to grow.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for your time.
Okay. You're very welcome. Is that it with the pitches, Maureen? Can I move on to the next segment? Okay. All right, folks, it looks like we have finished the 3 pitches that were on the schedule today, and we can do more Q&A. We do have time. I'm going to spend a few minutes explaining to you how to use the program, especially if you're trying to raise money, which Taha is doing and Nitin is doing. Definitely, you will want to understand how to do that through 1Mby1M. Before we go there, I want to ask you, if you like what we do in 1Mby1M, please refer serious entrepreneurs to the program. Everything is at 1Mby1M.com. Everything that you would be looking for, this is a fully virtual program. So you do it at your own time, you do it at your own pace, a lot of the learning. We do have private roundtables where we get together on a regular basis, like these ones happen. These are public roundtables that happen on Thursdays. Very similar format roundtables happen for our premium members every week as well. Those are scheduled sessions, but otherwise you do things at your own time. You could start following the blog, which is free and it's very rich. It's extremely instructive. The Entrepreneur Journeys book series is another starting point, potentially, where you can start learning. These roundtables happen every week. You're welcome to come as much as you want. You can pitch only once for free in these roundtables, but you can come as much as you want. Many people have followed these roundtables for years. The full premium program is our full acceleration program. We offer you extensive methodology guidance. We have a digital curriculum that is very comprehensive and covers our entire methodology. That's part of the premium program. We help you with business development, where we have a terrific Rolodex, and that Rolodex will be accessible for you if you decide to be in the premium program. The private roundtables is how we do the strategy consulting, mentoring, coaching, whatever you call it, but the interactive project-based work together, strategy work, is done in these roundtables that are private. And we help you with financing. We have relationships with hundreds of investors. I would say at this point, well over 600 investors. And they each have their own preferences of what they like to invest in, how they want to go about investing in that. So this is, extensively interesting opportunity to raise funding through the program. Both Nitin and Taha have validation and revenues, so I'm hopeful that we should be able to get to some sort of a successful financing outcome with each of you. With a bit of preparation work, you have a lot of what is needed to make financings happen. One thing all of you should look at is the self-assessment. It's a free tool that we offer on the website. These are the due diligence questions that investors would ask you. So you should ask yourself, you should do a due diligence on yourself. Do you have a sense of how to go about answering these due diligence questions that investors are going to ask you, and try to answer them? For everybody listening to this session, a very good starting point into the 1 million by 1 million philosophy is our bootstrapping course. That's a 1 hour, less than 1 hour course. You will find that on our blog, pinned to the top of the blog. So definitely do that to get a sense of how we think about entrepreneurship. It's different from how most of the entrepreneurship system out there is thinking or teaching. Actually, our methodology is based on where the rubber meets the road. This is what's happening. Investors invest in validated businesses, in the businesses that already have, revenues, customers, revenues, validation, and that's the reality. But entrepreneurs constantly go chasing investors prematurely, and that doesn't result in successful outcomes. So I'm thrilled to see Nitin and Taha have validated extensively, and you're far more credible now with investors, and I'm very, very happy to see that. We have, as I said, in the summer, we have started releasing a bunch of Udemy courses. So if you go to Udemy and look for courses under my name, Romana Mitra, you would find, I think at this point, about 28 courses that we have released already. And they're all starting to get reviews and so forth. So it's a massive work that we're doing to further democratize entrepreneurship education. So our methodology, our full curriculum is available as 1Mby1M Basic, and we charge $99 a month for it. But we have also, started working with Udemy on this, because on Udemy, these modules can be acquired we have them priced at like $40 to, $90, something like that, different modules, different size courses. But Udemy offers extensive promotions. So you could, if you pay attention to Udemy's promotions, you could be acquiring these courses for 10 to 15 bucks each. So for under $100, you could acquire, 8, 10 courses, depending on what promotion they're running. And people are doing that. We're seeing people acquiring 10, 12 courses in one go. And that's just fine. Just learn. Learn in whatever way works for you. 1M Basic is fine. You can join the curriculum and just do the full basics. That's fine too. That's a monthly subscription fee model. There's a lot of learning infrastructure and learning opportunity that we have created that you should absolutely learn from. The website is very comprehensive. You can dig around to see what to expect from the premium program, what to expect from basic, FAQs, video FAQs. The curriculum is fully described in detail. It is a case study-based curriculum. Everything we do is case study-based. I'm not pulling anything out of the hat. Every single lecture that you're going to listen to, every single course that you're going to do with us is chock full of case studies. You're going to essentially, quote unquote, meet the who's who of the technology startup world. We have over 100 unicorn companies, 400 plus venture funded companies, another 400 plus bootstrap companies. It's really, everything is from the horse's mouth. These are people who are offering you lessons from the trenches, and that's really powerful to learn from. And it's interesting, it's inspiring. You see how people basically start from scratch and build one foot before the other. It's something that makes you feel like you can do it. If somebody else has done it, you can do it too. And you learn all the tools and the techniques of how to put one foot before the other. That is what we have accomplished in 1Mby1M, is a really granular figuring out of how to put one foot before the other in building technology and technology-enabled services businesses. Investor introductions is a section that is, you can access it from the homepage of our website. We articulate the policies. Investor entrepreneur fit is a really important phenomenon that you have to understand. Not all investors invest in all companies. Investors have preferences. Investors have, expertise. Investors have geographical preferences, sector preferences, stage preferences. So there's when you boil it down to what applies to you and where you can find investor and entrepreneur fit, you again have to be very narrow. Just like when you're in achieving product market fit, you have to be very narrow and you have to position and you have to be laser sharp in figuring out what is your really sharply defined customer base. Same thing with investor entrepreneur fit. You have to sharply define the investors who would resonate with your idea. Our methodology is lean, capital efficient bootstrap startups. It's a bootstrap first, raise money later strategy. So again, I'm very happy to see Nitin and Taha practicing that. And I trust that Mohammed is also going to do the same thing. And we have a lot of clout in the media. We can get, the word out there about what you're doing through our network, which is powerful. So upcoming free roundtables are pretty much every week. September, October, every week we have free roundtables. And we can go back to Q&A. If you have questions, you can dial in. You can ask through the public chat. All of that is fine. I do have time for further Q&A. While you're doing that, let me introduce you to Irina Patterson. Irina is your contact. If you have questions about joining the 1M1M program, please contact Irina and she'll be happy to talk about it with you, any questions you might have. All right. Anybody else? Any other questions? Yes? No?
No. So I just wanted to ask, do we need to start with the basic program? Do we need to start with the premium program, or how it's going to work?
You don't have to start with the basic program. Some people like to start with the basic program. because there's a price differential. It's a $99 a month versus $1,000 annual membership fee up front. But if you're looking for help with financing, you need to join the premium program. The basic doesn't cover. It has material to study, but as introductions and coaching and stuff that you will not get from the basic. So you need, for your situation, you're better off doing the premium.
This is for the first time actually we thought of it, and you are the very first person I'm talking about the fundraising only. So this is for the first time we have come out for the raising funds, because scalability I see scalability is so good. There is a difference between growth and scalability. What I'm seeing here is scalability. It's not growth, it's a scalability, because we are going to use the existing resource at a very exponential level. So because we have got expertise, we have got a team.
That's the message that you're going to have to convey to investors with a proper strategy that is, right now, the one thing that you're going to still have to bridge is the bridge between in-person versus or manual versus FinTech. Investors would be interested in the FinTech business. And so the FinTech one is what is scalable, infinitely scalable. So we have to work out the details of how to pitch this as a FinTech business, I'll work with you. I think this is doable. This one is very doable.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. Taha,
it was nice to meet you.
You're very nice to meet you as well, Nitin.
Thank you so much.
Taha, are you all set? Do you have any other questions? I'm so happy to see a very, very competent, business that you've pulled together in Tanzania as well. It's wonderful to see that.
Thank you.
I think Africa is going to be very big in this decade.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying that when I went back to the States, but I think there's still a lot more room to grow for, and the macro trends are definitely heading in that direction.
Absolutely.
Because there's not a lot of more markets that can grow at that pace.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're in the ground floor of the African market. It is where India was 15 years ago, so absolutely.
If you can just explain what you told me again about the bottom-up calculation for SMEs. Because what you're saying is what I presented was what we want to reach, but the TAM should be bigger. Is that correct?
Yeah. So there's if you go do the either 1M1M basic or premium, you will have access to all the lecture modules on TAM and pricing and everything. So I would recommend you do that.
Okay. Fine.
So we've provided you with lots of learning material. It's really up to you to take it and use it.
Thank you.
And you're very close actually to being very ready to go talk to investors in a very meaningful way. So you just have to plug these little bits and pieces of knowledge gaps, and we can definitely get you there very rapidly.
Sure. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Anybody else? All right. I will see you next week then. Take care. Keep making progress. Bye. Thanks for coming today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Kelly.